Hey guys, in this video, I'm going to do a part 2 of the object-oriented programming implementation in Python, alright? But before I get started, please subscribe to the channel and please like, comment on the video. Alright, let's do it. Okay, so this is part 2 of a 3-part series in this playlist, and I just want to demo like a class just so you can see how, object-oriented programming works in Python. And then you'll already know the power of it once I show you the demo. Okay, but I'll explain it just to reinforce the concepts in your head. Okay, so let's get started. So the way you can instantiate a class is by doing class, and I'll call a class user. And then for now, I'll just put a pass. And a pass is just a way of saying like it does nothing, right? You can do a pass with methods too, like def do nothing and then pass. This is fine too. Okay, so let's just show you that it works. No syntax errors, right? There we go. Okay, now let's actually code the fields and methods in Python. So for that, let's just have a constructor. So the constructor will just be the init method. And then the first method is something called super. Super is the exact same as this in Java. So we can just say super. All right, and then I'll say the fields. So like first name, last name, let's say I want to say first name, last name, say, let's actually change to employee. I think it's better. Employee. Right? So first name, last name, role, and then, salary or whatever. And then let's do a colon. Okay. And what we can do is we can say super dot, or not super, sorry. This is supposed to be self, my bad. Self dot first name equals first name, and this should be camel case. And then we'll say first name. And then we'll say the same thing with last name. And then we'll do the same thing with role. And then we'll do the same with salary. And I'll just say salary. Okay, so now what I'll also have is what's going on. Okay, I can ignore that. And I think this should be def. Okay, so now what I can do is I can also have methods associated with this class. And I'm going to explain this briefly, but every object of a class shares the same methods, but these can be different. And that's the whole idea of object-oriented programming, is that I can have objects with different properties and I can apply, the same function but get different results. So what I'll do is I'll say def increase salary. Let's say, you get a 5% salary increase. So we can say, rate. And then we can say, we can say self comma rate. So then I can say self dot salary equals self dot salary times 1 plus rate, right? Because the rate will be like a percent, like 5%, and I'll multiply it by 1.05 because it gained 5%. Okay? And then I'll just have another method that prints the name of the employee. So def print first and last self, and then I'll just say print self dot first name plus self dot last name. All right, and that's the whole idea with this. Okay, so to recap, basically what I did is I instantiated a constructor, right? Or I defined a constructor with the init keyword. Remember, this is a keyword. Okay, and the first argument in the init is just something called self. So self is like a pointer to like this class. And then I just put the first name, last name, role, salary. I did self.first name is this, self.last name is that. And I did that for the init method. We also have print first and last. So, print the first name and the last name of the, self, and increase salary. So, increase the salary of the person. Okay. And I don't think I actually need self here. Undefined. Oh, so I have to have it. Okay, never mind then. All right, so let's keep that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to instantiate two employees. All right, so I'm going to say, E1 equals employee of, and you can ignore the self. It's just everything after this. So I'll put my name, Adnan, Yunus. And then I'll put, my role. I'm a developer. And I get, just like 75K, let's just say, right? And then I'll do the same thing. E2 equals employee. Let's just say I put my manager here. So, Jake, whatever. Read doesn't, whatever, right? Manager. And then he makes, 120K. Or it doesn't matter, the salary. And actually, since it's a salary, I'm going to make it a real number. So 75,000 and then 120,000. Okay, so what I did was I basically made two employees that are different, right? So E1 and E2 are not the same. They're two objects using the same class, but they have different fields. So when I use the properties or the methods, they're going to give me different results because the properties are different. So let's just start out by doing the print first and last, just to show you. Of, let's say E1. And, okay. Or no, I can say this, sorry. E1 dot print first and last. And then, yeah, let's run it. So see, Adnan Yunus, that comes from this. Let's do E2, just to prove that I'm not lying to you. Right? Jake Reed, that comes from first name and last name. All right. Now let's say that Jake is impressed with Adnan and he gave him a salary hike of 5%. Right? So then what we can do, he said E1 dot increase salary of, let's say, 0.05. And then now what we'll do print E1, and we can access the field by doing E1.salary. So now let's check it out. Okay, so 75,000 increased by 5%. That makes sense. 78,750, right? So that's the whole idea I really want to explain with object-oriented programming, is that we just have to define a class that is the basic template, and that every object will have the specific fields of that class. So a class by itself is not specific, but the objects are, in the sense that it has the definition of the fields and the execution of the methods actually return, results, right? And that's the whole idea with object-oriented programming, is that you can have separate objects of the same class. And, this is used in Android app development. This is used in web development even. And it's a very, very powerful concept. In fact, knowing the ins and outs of this paradigm really can land you a job, guaranteed. All right. So I'm going to end it here. I'm going to make a third video that displays the inheritance. And after that, we're going to soon start coding our project. All right. I'll see you then. Bye.